Welcome back to The Takeout. Thanks for hanging out with us. President Trump has ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be moved to, quote, appropriate regions. That's his terminology, due to what he called, again, I quote, highly provocative statements from former Russian official Dmitry Medvedev. On Monday, Medvedev said each new ultimatum that Trump makes toward Russia in pressuring an end to its conflict with Ukraine, quote, is a threat and a step towards war. Eleanor Watson joins me now from the Pentagon. Ellie, there was a lot of vagueness in the president's social media post on this, but it caught a lot of people's attention. Help my audience understand what was and what was not said by the president regarding nuclear submarines.
Major, the locations of submarines are rarely talked about, and when they are, they're never accompanied by the kind of language the president used in his post today. We should point out, as you mentioned, the vagueness. The president did not distinguish between nuclear-armed submarines and nuclear-powered submarines. If he's talking about nuclear-armed submarines, there are generally at any given time a few of those on patrol, but the range of the missiles they carry is so great that those submarines could be in the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian Ocean, and still be able to hit targets in Russia. If he's talking about nuclear-powered submarines armed with conventional cruise missiles, there are at any given time 2 of those in the Atlantic and 2 in the Pacific that could also hit targets in Russia. So the capability to threaten Russia is always there, but the president has now put it into words.
And, Ellie, this is not a Trump-Putin conversation. This is a Trump-Medvedev conversation. And what confused a lot of people today is what Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, said just yesterday on Fox about Medvedev. Let's listen.
He basically is not a relevant player in Russian politics. He's not a decision maker. He's not in any of the meetings or conversations we've ever had. I'm not sure he's speaking for the official Russian position, but he's certainly someone in an official position in Russia who's saying things that, are inflammatory, but that's okay. I don't think that's going to be a factor one way or the other.
Not a factor one way or the other. Is the Pentagon providing any guidance or insight into what the president posted?
Major, very little information, but as you know, the president posts and the administration will follow what the president, the commander-in-chief, decides. This post, I view as a sign of the increasing frustration the president himself feels that Russia, instead of winding down its war in Ukraine, continues to escalate its assaults on Ukrainian cities. The president earlier this week set a deadline of next week for Russia to accept a ceasefire or suffer economic consequences. And even in the face of that looming ultimatum, Russia just last night again targeted Ukraine's capital of Kyiv. President Trump's post today on Truth Social is reminiscent of a post he made on Twitter during his first administration against North Korea when he said, essentially, my nuclear button is bigger than yours. There were real tensions then, just as there are now, and the president, as always, is saying the quiet part out loud.
At the Pentagon for us, Ellie Watson, thank you so very much.